Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to welcome you here today. Today is January 29th, and it's Thursday, and January 29th, 2026. And my name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. And you are watching me on either YouTube or on Facebook. So be sure that you comment and share the video. And I'd also ask you to follow my page on Facebook. I'm trying to increase my viewership. So let's tell a little bit about what's going on. We'll get with the housekeeping things right now. So first off, we've got our paper pumpkin kit for February is Celebrate Spring. And boy, are we ready for spring. We're in the Arctic Arkansas right now. We've had a terrible weather since last Saturday morning, Friday night. Lots of ice and lots of snow, and we're still stuck inside. So anyway, let's go on to tell you about our paper pumpkin for February. Celebrate Spring. Craft whimsical, handmade cards that celebrate Easter and sweet spring days. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes, pre-cut paper pieces and pink baker's twine, iridescent pink and yellow sequins, and the stamping spot that goes along with this one is going to be Shy Shamrock. And this coordinates with the Easter Joy Suite collection, which is item number 166954. So, looks very cute. I can't wait to get mine. Okay, and then next we have the dies that will coordinate with the January, February, and March paper pumpkin kit. And these are called Beautiful Blooms. And this is an add-on that you can add on to your paper pumpkin, but you have to be a paper pumpkin subscriber in order to get it. So you could sign up for this month's paper pumpkin kit and add those dies to it. And they are item number 168666. And the price is $13. As you can see, you get quite a few dies there for that price. Okay. And then next we have bonus days that are still going on. These go on until the end of, until February 2nd. And with every $50 that you spend, you can get a $5 coupon for your next orders after February 2nd, so starting February 3rd. And you want to make sure when you get those emails from Stampin' Up! When your order is finalized that you keep those emails in a safe place, because they won't be able to send them back to you again. So you want to make sure that you hang on to those really good. So you can redeem those bonus coupons starting on February 3rd until February 28th. So there's no limit of how many coupons you can earn, and there's no limit of how many coupons you can redeem. So that could really help on your next orders. Okay, if you have any questions on that, reach out to me. I probably didn't explain that as well as I should have. And next we have the product of the month, which I'm going to be using that stamp set today. It is called Fabulous Saying Stamp Set. And you've got the month of January, so you've only got a couple days left to get this. Stampin' Up! Has been giving us a product of the month for each month, so this is the second one we've got. And it's got a lot of sentiments on there. I really like mine. And what that is you spend $75 for your order. That's before shipping and tax. And you can buy this stamp set, the product of the month, for only $5. And each month it's going to be something different. So let me talk another promotion that's going to be starting. This is in, let me get my flyer here. It's our exclusive join offer for Stampin' Up. It says, when you join Stampin' Up February 3rd to March 2nd, you'll get our new stamping positioner tool free. Along with your stamping positioner, you receive your starter kit, which includes free business supplies and free shipping. Plus, you'll get all the fun that comes with being part of a supportive crafting community. There's no better time to join than now. And a lot of people have been asking for a new stamp positioner since we don't have this Stamparatus anymore. So this is the new one that they've got. And I'm waiting for mine to come in. It's supposed to be here this weekend. Well, weather permitting. So I can't wait to get it and start playing with it and to show everybody what it actually looks like. But you can also add on the grid paper that goes along with that. That's sold separately. I think it was $15 or something for a pack of the grid paper, which wasn't bad. I think there's, I don't remember how many sheets are in there, but 50 double-sided sheets. Okay. And like I said, you can get your starter kit for $99. You choose $125 worth of products, and free shipping, and if there's sales tax, you'd pay that. But I'd love to have you on my team. And let me put up that link right now. Looking for it right here. Okay. So you click on that website and you'll be able to get your starter kit going. And along with your starter kit and the orders after that you place after you receive your kit, you'll receive a discount on your purchases too. So anywhere from 20 to 25% discount. So you can't go wrong with that. All right, I kind of got off the program a little bit talking. So if you want to shop with me, you can shop in my store. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted. Okay. You can shop in my store for any products that I'm showing today at www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if you need to email me, you can reach me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. And these are also in the description of the video. So if you missed it, you can look at that. All right. So I'm thinking I've covered everything that we need to talk about. Let me go ahead and get started with our program. Let me hide that so it's not distracting. And let me bring you down to my desktop. Oops. There we go. Let that focus in. I hope it does a little better than it's doing right now. Maybe it'll improve after we get started here. Let me bring my comments back up here so I can watch. All right, we're going to be doing 3 projects today. I'm going to be doing 2 greeting cards and 1 3D project. It's going to be a Valentine treat holder. And we'll go ahead and get started with those. So here's our first card. Let me see if that'll focus in there better. I'll get my bits and pieces out here. Okay. It's kind of blurry. I don't know if it's my lighting or what exactly is going on. But okay, so here's our card. It says hello. And I don't have anything on the inside of this one yet. So we're going to decide what we want to put on the inside after we get to that point. But I am using 2 different stamp sets, 1 bundle, and the product of the month stamp we're going to be using. It's the lovely whoops, wrong one. The Fabulous Sayings. This is the product of the month for January. I'm getting glare. Lots of good sentiments and cute fonts on there. And then the stamp set and dies. Getting glare. Lovely arrangements. All right. I've done a lot of the prep work, so you don't have to sit and watch me do that. Our card base is going to be petal pink. Insert is right there. And it measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. I feel like I'm forgetting something today. I think I talked about everything. That's something on my, need to clean my tools here, it looks like. We'll just turn that over to that side. Well, that's going to be fine. And then we've got our Calypso Coral, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go on the front of our card base. And then I have got a basic white that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I've embossed that already with our exposed brick embossing folder. I'm getting a lot of glare. And that's going to go on top of our Calypso Coral. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those all right now. My husband's outside weathering this weather, so he's had enough of being stuck in the house, I guess. I see he had a burn barrel out there to burn some wood to keep warm a little bit. Thinks he's camping or something. All right, and that's going to go onto our card front. And then I'm going to add my embossed layer to the top of that. And when you're doing an embossed layer, you want to make sure you get plenty of glue up along the edges so it doesn't lift on you. And trying to figure out which way I want to put this. There's no wrong way with this folder. No directional, I mean. Okay, hope everybody's doing well. Tell me what your weather's like, where you are. All right, and then next I have cut out 2 layers, a Calypso Coral and a basic white. And I have used the Nested Essentials dies. And I used the larger ones. So these 2. This one for the Calypso Coral, and this one for the white. And we're going to set those aside for now because we're going to work on our flowers and stuff. So I'm going to close up my glue for a little bit. And we'll bring over our stamps. And our hello. Oops. And then I'm going to be using Old Olive and some Stampin' Blends. I've got 2 different colors here. I've got light Cajun Craze and dark Calypso Coral are our colors of choice. And I'm going to grab my black Memento ink to stamp our flowers. And I've got a scrap of basic white here to do that with. So I'm going to do the 2 flowers. Morning, Jackie. Yeah, I'm about done with this winter thing. All right, and we're going to stamp our hello in this corner. Off to the right side on the camera, and get that straight. And we're done with the black memento, so we'll close that up. And I'm going to wait with my leaves until after I color my flowers first. And we'll set this aside. I'm going to bring over my light Cajun craze to do the flowers. Yeah, look kind of dark at first, but it's what I wanted. So I'm going to kind of outline these, and then I'm going to come back in with the brush end and fill in the color. Save a little time. Brush end. Fill that all in. And I'm going to take the dark Calypso Coral. I'm going to do some highlighting on there. I'm going to use the brush end and do this center. And just to add a little shading. I think I'm going to color this bottom part with the dark also. And then I'm going to come in and do my other flower the same way. Outline it first, and then we'll use the brush side to fill the color in. Okay. Now the brush tip. Even the brush end is a little bit lighter than what the bullet end is. It's giving me some more shading. All right, and then I want to grab the dark Calypso Coral, and I want to do the center of that flower. And I'm going to outline the lines that are on the image of the flower. Okay, and now we're going to die cut those. Bring my little machine over here. trash boom. Never a dull moment. All right, let's switch that out of the way. Bring the plates up here. And I may have to cut this down to size. And grab my dies. That one. And that one. And I had some washi tape here. What did I do with it? Well, I did have it here. It has disappeared on me. Okay. Piece over here. I'll just grab that one. That positioned and hold it down with our tape. And I don't know if that's sticky enough to hold it in place. Keep our fingers crossed here. It doesn't move. Here we go. We still got the squeak. And there's our two flowers. And then we're going to bring this piece back over here. And we're going to place those up on dimensionals. And one there and two on this one. Oops, pulled up too many. All right, and we're going to stamp some leaves with our old olive ink pad. And let's get that inks up right. There we go. And one at that side and another one over here. Okay, be sure you like and share the video. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure you hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate that. And there's a little bell there you can click to be notified when I go live. All right, now we're going to add this white layer to the Calypso Coral layer. Leaving an edge going around it. And we're not putting this on dimensionals. We're going to glue it directly down to our card front. And we're going to center that. I guess it's not too cold for the planes to fly. I hear a plane going over. All right, then we're going to put our flowers down on there and kind of eyeball how we want to arrange them. And I think that maybe looks good right there. So we're going to place this one down first. And this one next. And keep turning them to see how I want them placed here. Maybe right there looks good. And then we've got our early espresso old olive linen thread pack. It's got the old early espresso and old olive, one roll of each. And we're going to use the old olive color. And I've already made a bowl, a double bowl. Well, if I can straighten it out, it's gotten messed up. And we're going to place that down underneath this flower with the mini glue dot. And I take your pick tool. It's right here. We're going to place that underneath this flower, the larger flower. Press that down into that. And then we will trim off the tails. And I'm just trimming them with the bottom of the card. And then we're going to add some antique pearls embellishments. I'm going to go with the large. Right here. And then a medium size next to that. And the inside of the flower, we're going to go with the medium. Just in the larger flower. Okay, so there's the front of our card. Now let's do the inside. It's our basic white, which is 4 inches. But if we want to say on the inside of our card, hello. Let's bring those back over here and see what we've got for choices. Go with happy birthday or you're on my mind. Sending love. Well, and on this one we've got sending smiles, always here for you. I think I'm going to go with the you're on my mind. That always goes good. So I haven't put this on a block yet, so I'm going to have to mount that on a block. And you're on my mind. It's right here. Let's grab it. I only need one block. I need to clean my blocks. They're dirty. I didn't clean that one before I put it away. Wiped a little bit of that off. I still got some on there. All right, we're going to use just our black Memento ink. Ink that up. And put that in the center, upper center area. Oops. That on the inside of our card. Okay. Straighten that out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so here's our first card. Hello, you're on my mind. Okay, let me clean up a little bit here and we'll get on to our next card. And this is going to be a Valentine's card, which is only, what, a couple weeks away? Room here. Get my bits and pieces out here. Okay, so be mine. That's what it says for the sentiment. And then on the inside, I've got Happy Valentine's Day. And we're going to start out with our Darling Duckling cardstock. I'm trying to separate things here. And it is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to grab another bone folder here, so I'll make sure I don't make my card dirty. So we're going to go this way. And then I've got our designer series paper, which comes from the Painterly Pairs. And I need a sample sheet here. Okay, so Painterly Pairs. This is still available yet. And we're using this pattern right here. And this one measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go on the card front. So we're going to go ahead and attach that. Okay, so some news update. What's happened to me this week is, other than the weather, last Friday I went to get a haircut, and coming home I had to stop at a yield sign for traffic, oncoming traffic, and the guy behind me forgot to stop and he rear-ended me. So needless to say, I got to get my car repaired, but I can't get out of the driveway to take it to town to get it fixed until this stuff clears up. So not very happy about that. Okay, so next we've got our vellum, which is 5 inches by 3 1/2 inches. And I embossed it with 2 different designs. I'm not sure which one I want to use. I have a plain one, or the 3D embossed bricks, or this one is, I don't know. I don't have the envelope here, but it's got the vines. So I'm not sure. This one's a little bit too deep. I think I'm going to stick with the brick layer one. I like that. And I know the camera doesn't show it very well. So, and then I've also embossed with the vines, the black, basic black, and this measures 4 1/2 inches by about 3 1/8 inches by 4 1/2 inches. And that's going to go on top of that vellum. So I'm going to go ahead and start attaching these layers. I'm just going to put adhesive in the center of the embossed, or the vellum, so it doesn't show. And we'll put that down onto our card front. And our next layer is our embossed black. We'll go on top of that. We'll center that. Give that a little press down to make sure it stays there. And then I want a basic white that I have die cut already using, these are the textured notes dies, and I have used this die, and that is the number 4 die from the largest. Right, we're going to set that aside for a moment. We're going to stamp on this layer, and I'm going to use the honeycomb. Let me bring my stamps over here. As long as I take all these out, we're going to be using them all. So here's the honeycomb, the bead. All right, so I'm going to use my black memento. And I'm going to stamp our honeycombs. So I'm going to bring a scrap of paper over here. Kind of keep my work surface a little clean. All right, like I said, black memento ink to stamp our honeycomb. And I'm kind of alterating it. Yeah. Let's see here. That should have been turned. And I'm going to go a little bit more on the top here. Maybe this one here. All right, close up that black. And then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Blend, which is the light Darling Duckling. And we're going to color a few of those. Not all of them, just a few. And husband's out there driving his truck on the driveway and he's distracting me here. And add a few more here. Yeah, I guess that's good. You can always add to it. right, so this is going to go onto our card front, onto our embossed layer of the black. So Arkansas isn't equipped to handle the snow and ice like we've had. So we live on a highway and it still hasn't been plowed or anything yet. So it's just refreezing every night and everybody's driving on it and making it rougher. So I haven't even ventured out at all. I'm going to stay in until it's gone. Hopefully by next week so I can take my car in and get it fixed. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to stamp the bees. And I've got a scrap of basic white here. And I'm going to stamp those using our Darling Duckling ink pad. If I can get a hold of it here. And I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to clean off this surface. When you've got a larger surface stamping area, sometimes if you take Scotch tape, it'll get any dust particles off of it that might be on there. So you get a cleaner surface to stamp. And I did pick up something off of there, something dark. Okay. Ink that up. And I want to bring my punch over here so I can see how I want to stamp this. So probably just like this. Let that soak in a moment. And we'll do another one. I'm going to do one at each end. All right, and then I'm going to use our Stays On Black ink. I want a sharper, darker black to stamp our stinger part. And we'll line that up over. Kind of skipped on that previous one, so I'm hoping this gives a better stamped image. Yeah, that's a lot better. I don't know if I can line that back up again. Should we try it? Maybe. Oh yeah, I did good. All right. Come back in here. I'm going to use a scrap of vellum and I'm going to stamp the wings with the Stays On ink. And this is going to go kind of at this angle. And another one. Over here. All right. So when you got porous paper like the vellum, you want something that's not going to smear off of it. So the Stays On is your best choice. All right, now we're going to do some punching. And bring a punch over here. punch out this one first. Line that up with that. And I got a little bit too thick at that side. I have to narrow this down a little bit. Get our punch in there. And it's still a little bit too thick there. I'm going to trim that down a little bit more. Third time's a charm. Oh, where did he go? There he is. And this one, trim some of that off again. And lining that up in the punch. Okay, so here's our two bee bodies. The bodies of our bees. I'm drawing paper on the floor here. And then I'm going to punch out my wings using that heart. There's one. Now let's do the other one. Okay. And then one more thing. We're going to bring our scrap paper, basic weight back over here. We're going to stamp our antenna. And I'm just going to use my basic black for that. And black memento. And of course, I stick my fingers in the ink. And one right there. Close that up a little bit. Bring our punch back over here, and this small heart is the one that's going to punch out our antenna. And again. All right, now I've got those. Okay, so let's get all of our pieces over here. And we'll put the bead together. All right, I'm facing this way and one this way. And we're going to place the wings with our glue. Well, come on, glue. I don't want it to gob all out at one time here. Oh, it's been stubborn on me. And I think it's plugged up. Let me grab a paper clip. And we'll get that one stuck. Put a little dab on each one. And add a little glue to our antenna at the bottom. And I want these kind of towards the back. All right, hold that for just a moment. And we'll do that again for the antenna. And all right, and then we're going to stamp the faces and black memento. And I'm going to have one smiley face with his eyes open, and another one with a smiley face with the eyes closed. And those are cute. Okay, we might also stamp our sentiment while we're got this open. And I'm just going to use this little scrap that I got. And it's going to say, "Be mine." Right here. And I can't put it on there. We're going to grab I thought I had a strip in there. I'm not seeing it. Okay. So I'm going to grab my little jar here that's got some paper strips in there. And I think I've got one right here that'll work. See if that'll fit on there or not. That's the good question. And not sure. Might be a little bit too skinny. Well, yeah, that'll work. Now we can close that up. Put this aside. We'll set that over there for now. And we're going to start attaching our beads. So I'm going to place them up on dimensionals. So turn them over. And I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on each one. And my Take Your Pick tool has disappeared on me. There it is. I'll grab those dimensional backings off. And I have this one that's going that direction. We'll put him over here. And the other one will go on the bottom. All right, so far. And then we've got some hearts that we're going to punch out. And we don't need the little yellow one that goes inside. So I'm going to punch out some hearts here. And got paper flying around here. And then I want my black. 2 yellow and 1 black one. And another black little one. Okay, and then we're going to layer these. One at an angle here, and then the black one. And another yellow one. So I'm going to start attaching those down. And then we've got black. All right, and then we're going to lay this black one onto that top one, yellow one, along with our sentiment, which we're going to cut that down smaller. And glue on the one side and attach that. I lift up that black one yet. Slip that up underneath there. Okay, but we're not done yet. We are going to add some embellishments to the front side. And this is our, what are these called? The low profile sparkle dots. And this is a Darling Duckling color. And I'm going to add 3 onto my card front. So I'm going to put a little heart there. And, oops, we've got to use, I'm missing my black. I'm going to punch out some black small ones yet. Hearts. And can I fit one more out of here? Maybe so. Yep. Okay, these are going to go onto the center of the bee wings. All right. And then we're going to add a little gem to each little heart. Okay, so there's the front side of the card. Now let's work on the inside. And I've got a basic plate, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And a strip of that same designer series paper that is a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. It's going to go across the bottom layer. And I'm going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day on the inside with our black memento. And upper center. Close that up. Add this to the bottom. I've got Jojo wandering around here. You're supposed to be taking your nap, Jojo. Huh? How come you're not taking your nap? And this is going to go on the inside of our card. Okay, and then we're going to add a little heart. How many hearts do I have here? I did have a big heart. Put that down there. Let's see what pieces I've got here that we can use. Whoops. Don't mess with that, Jojo. I don't think I like the big one. I think I'm going to put that little one there, and then I'm going to stamp with our hearts. The Darling Duckling ink pad. And I'm going to stamp a cluster of 3 hearts. And maybe another one down here. And we might also use this, put it on the inside. I don't think I want that one. No. Well, I could. Why not? I've got it punched out. I might also use it. Okay, so here's our second card. Be Mine. And if you wanted to, you could add some Wink of Stella to your bees. But I think I'm going to just leave it as is. The black stays on is kind of shiny itself, so that kind of does a little bling. Happy Valentine's Day. All right, our next project is a 3D project. Let me get these out of the way. Clean this off because we're going to be using this again. Got my Simply Chamois here. I'm not going to take the time to clean all my stamps off, but I'm going to be reusing this Happy Valentine's Day. So I want to make sure that's clean. Okay. So again, I'm using the sentiment out of the Be My Valentine, the Happy Valentine's Day. And this is our little project. This should fit a, what is it, the Lindor, where they're a round ball. I didn't have any and I wasn't able to go to the store to get any, so we're going to improvise today. Just imagine that it's there. All right, let me push everything out of the way here. Make some room. I get everything out, my instructions. Bits and pieces here. Okay, so for our card, or for our project, I'm using the Poppy Parade cardstock. And this is going to measure 5.5 inches by 8 1/4 inches. And I'm going to bring my scoreboard over here to do some scoring. Put that clear out of my way. Make sure you can see me. All right. So I'm going to do the long side first. measurements over here so I can get the right score lines. And we're going to score this on the long side first at 2 inches. 4 inches. 6 inches. And 8 inches. And then we're going to turn it. I'm just trying to see if I'm going the right direction. Okay, on the short side, we're going to score it at 2 inches. Oh, that one went okay right there. Let me reinforce that again. 2 inches, 3.5 inches. And again at 5.5 inches. That's not right. We want to do 5 inches instead. I got the wrong one. So 2 inches, 3.5 inches, and 5 inches. Okay. So we're done with the scoreboard. Put that aside. And bring our bone folder over here. I'm going to burnish the score lines. And this 1/2 inch score is going to fold towards the front. And the other ones, I'm going to fold back. Burnish those. And then we'll do this 1/4 of an inch one. I'll have all these instructions on my blog later today, plus a diagram of what this is going to look like. And I have my scissors. And we are going to cut this little lip up here at a little bit of an angle up to that score line. And this area we're going to take off completely. And then kind of flag that a little bit, angle cut it. And then we're going to cut up all these. This is going to be the bottom of our box. And I'm going to fold these back and kind of take a little bit of the edge off of these. Am I in the camera at all? I'm going to do all 4 that way. What, Jojo? Go take your nap. And the last one. Okay, so here we have it so far. That's what it looks like. This is going to fold back. So we're going to add our designer series paper first, and I am using the Brights 6x6 paper, designer series paper, and I've already pre-cut those already. So we've got 4 that are, I'm missing one. Where is the other one? There it is. And then 2. So these are 1 7/8 inches by 1 3/8 inch, and we need 4 of those. And then I've got 2 that are 1 7/8 by 7/8 inches. I'm jumping the gun here. I need to bring my ruler over here and my score tool. And then we are going to measure from the end at 3 inches. I'm going to put a little pencil mark there if I can find my pencil. Easier said than done. I had all kinds of them here a minute ago. I see one. All right. So you're going to put a little tick mark at the 3 and a tick mark at the 7. So I need that ruler yet. And we're going to use our ruler to go at an angle down to that first score line. And push that up a little bit. Emboss that and go from this corner up to that tick line again. And again at the 3-inch line, do the same thing. Oops, I got my stand in the way. I need to scooch down here a bit. Okay. I almost messed up there. Back. All right. So now we can grab our designer series paper. Oops, it goes down here. Lay these out, and then we'll come back and attach them with our glue. And this goes there, and this one goes there. So it'll be just like that. Grab our glue. And let's bring that scrap paper over here again to keep from getting glue all over the place. I want to make sure I get up against the edges of our designer series paper so they don't lift on me. Put that between the score lines. So we didn't even have church last Sunday. They canceled it because of the roads. We're not sure about this Sunday if we're going to be able to get there or not. The way the roads are right now, we're not even getting mail. We haven't had mail since last Friday. And I haven't seen no UPS trucks running, and I haven't seen no FedEx trucks running. So I guess everybody's at a standstill. But I am expecting a Stampin' Up! Order. I wish somebody would get through. And it'll be here when it gets here. Gotta have a little patience. Okay, and then our fourth panel here. All right, now we're going to take our smaller ones, and those will go across the top. And pick that up without getting glue all over myself. Oops, got glue on my finger, it stuck to me. So we're supposed to get cold again tomorrow night and Saturday night, I believe. And then after that, maybe we'll start warming up some to our normal temperatures. All right, there. And now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this little strip here. And we're going to fold that over. We're going to fold this one back. And we're going to fold this one over. And I need to fold these down first. The top flap needs to be folded first. Okay. Let's do that again. And we're going to fold that over on top of that, matching that seam up. I'll hold that for a moment. Okay. Open it. I've got a box started. We're going to figure out which is the back. So this is the back side, this is the front side. We're going to close these side ones in first. And that was the back, and that's the front. So we're going to add some glue. And this is the front flap. That's going to be the last one to be glued. I'm going to press that down. Okay, now these sides where we kind of crease that, that's going to be our fold area. It's going to fold in. It would fit better if I had the candy in there to kind of form the sides. I'm wondering, I have some Hershey Kisses here from a previous year. We don't want to eat these. They've been in here for a long time, a year. But it's good for a prop here. Would that be enough to hold it? Maybe, maybe not. So I've got a paper punch here. This is a retired one from years ago, but I couldn't find a paper punch that I wanted. So I'm going to punch a hole into the front side. And one on the back side. So there's our two holes for our ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and do some heat embossing before we finish our card here. I've got my heat gun here. And let's grab our Stampin' Buddy, embossing buddy. Get rid of any static cling that might be on there. And grab my paper back over here to catch the drippings. Nice. Versa mark. We'll stamp our Happy Valentine's Day. And then I'm going to heat emboss that with white embossing powder. Close that up. We're going to embossing powder into our Versamark pad. And give that a little shake. I'm going to put some on there again. I want to make sure I've got enough embossing powder. Tap, tap, tap. I'll pour that back into our jar. And I'm going to get my gun heated up here. I'd like to magic begin. You can see that it's turning shiny. That means that it's done. You don't want to overdo it. Okay, it's done. It takes longer for the gun to warm up. All right, we're going to fussy cut this out. So I'm just going to cut around our words, leaving a small Poppy Parade edge. So these are going to be for my ladies at church, my Sunday school class. If I can ever get to the store to get the candy to put in them. But that's the plan anyway. All right, then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, which I have thrown on the floor. And I'm going to add 2 to the back of that. Take your pick tool. Bring our box back over here. And we're going to put that on the front side, at the lower area. So it look like that. And now we want to add our ribbon. And I'm not sure. I have this is Real Red shiny ribbon. This is on our last chance. And it is originally $10. It's marked down to $9. So you might want to check that out before they're gone. And we're going to string our ribbon in there. And I'm going to come from the back side first. Go to the front side. And I'm not sure how much ribbon I want, but I'm going to make sure I have enough to tie a bow. So chop that off. Maybe about 20 inches. I'm not sure. Yeah, looks like about probably close to 20 inches. 18, 20 inches. So I want to bring it towards the front. And I'm going to tie that. Bring it towards the front. And then we'll make our bow. It's challenging tying bows on camera. I don't know what it is about that. Okay, I need to turn my ribbon a little bit because I want the shiny side showing. So we're going to maneuver our ribbon here. Well, it turned on me again. Let me pull that back around. All right. It is being totally stubborn. Okay, maybe that works. And I want a smaller bow. So it's not going to be the prettiest bow here. I'll have to fix it later on, but as for the video wise, we'll get it fairly decent. And I'm going to trim those tails. Okay, I guess that's not too bad of a bow. Could be better. All right, but we're going to add some gems to that. I'm debating, I have the faceted snowflakes. I don't know if those would look good on there. I haven't even used these yet. But it is winter time. We've got snow, so it might work. And I think I'll probably go with the silver because that red is a lot different. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the silver. I guess that looks all right. We're going to do 3. And oops, that one came off. I don't want you up there. I'll take this one off and put that over here. Well, let's move this one. I think I took the sticky off of that one. Nope. We'll put you back on there. Okay. Okay, so there's our little treat holder. Happy Valentine's Day with my kind of funky bow. I'll fix that later. Okay. All right, so there's our projects for today. I hope you enjoyed them. And we'll bring them back over here to show. It's going to sit at an angle here. All right, so there's our projects for today. Be sure you like and share the video. And if you'd follow me, I'd appreciate it. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're able to order products from, I'd appreciate your business. And until next week, which will be February. What is the date next Thursday? February. And things are falling. February 5th at 10:30 Central Time. I will see you then with a new project, and hopefully I have some new items by then, and I'll be able to show. So until next week, y'all have a good rest of your week. Stay warm, stay safe, and thank you for being here. Bye-bye.